Hello, 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 how is everybody? This is John Mason. Tomorrow is Mother's Day, and that is a time we pay our respects to all the women in our lives, our mothers, and our wives, and our girlfriends, and our sisters, and every other woman we come across. Happy Mother's Day, ladies. And if we want the best for the women in our lives, we must protect their reproductive rights. There are all these states going around that places the most onerous restrictions on abortions. Like, you can only have an abortion after so many weeks before you even know, the woman even knows that there's a fetus inside of her. And you remembered Katie Britt, the senator from Arkansas, who had this very bad case of ham acting after Biden's State of the Union address. Is that the best the Republicans can do? Well, anyway, she has this bright idea of a database. She's proposing this bill that would establish a database for all women who are pregnant. Hello, 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 John Mason. How's everybody? Well, the redistricting wars are on. The Texas legislature passed this bill that would redraw the congressional districts in the state, that would eliminate Democratic districts such as those of Jasmine Crockett and Al Green, who happen to be African American, but that's the plan. They know that the vast majority of the population of the state is either Hispanic or African American. Ergo, the dominant racist clique around Governor Greg Abbott is pulling all the dirty tricks to maintain their dominance and to continuously pursue racist policies against its own people. And so, Governor Gavin Newsom, yay, has been pushing for his state's congressional districts to be redrawn that would exclude Democrats. And the date for the referendum is on. In other words, as Beto O'Rourke has reminded us, as Gavin Newsom continues to remind us, the old civics books story about how politics works, like one faction sits down with another faction, they work out a deal that's mutually beneficial, and they come up with a bill that's acceptable to both sides. That's bullshit. There's always been bullshit. I would say that at least ever since the end of the FDR era, reactionary corporate forces have been doing everything they can to restore their own power and to break the power of unions and to continue their hold over the government of our country. So they've been organizing these political action committees and these foundations and these funds that would help them restore their power. It's been going on all through the Democratic administrations, continuing through Nixon, through the two George Bushes, through through Bill Clinton, who would make a pretty good Republican himself, never mind the D at the end of his name, and even through Barack Obama. What really clinched it was when in 2010, with the Citizens United decision by the Supreme Court, that corporations donating millions of dollars to their favorite candidates, to their favorite parties, is free speech. And to restrict corporate payments to these entities, is violating free speech. Yeah, we know how much free speech costs, don't we? And the corporate media just goes along with it, because to be honest, they're part of big corporations themselves. Like ABC is owned by Disney, and CBS is owned by Paramount, and NBC and MSNBC is owned by Comcast. That's the fight ahead of us, but we have our wins. I'm always pleased to see when people in the neighborhood chase away ICE agents as they're trying to nab innocent, hardworking people of Hispanic descent, just trying to get their slice of the American dream. And it's also gratifying to see that corporations who so long as they don't, just so they don't become cold woke. Oh, woke! They get boycotted, like Target. For the past 3 quarters, Target has been losing customers, has been losing a lot of business, a lot of funds, because people have boycotted Target over their canceling their DEI programs. Which goes to show you, as the old wobbly Big Bill Haywood said, the capitalist has no heart, but harpoon him in the wallet and you will draw blood. So we're not totally helpless. As long as we band together, communicate with each other, educate each other, and organize amongst each other, we'll beat these sons of bitches. That's a pep talk as we go into the weekend. It is reality. We can beat them if we continue on. Alrighty then. Now advertisements. All this work I do on my media. All this work with my podcast here, and my YouTube channel, and my blog, and my poetry, and my fiction, they're all work. And I need to be paid for my work. Ergo, I ask you to get on my website, johnomason.com, and click either the PayPal button or the Buy Me a Coffee button and see what you can give. I am most graciously appreciative. And also, my novel, Soldier of the Cross, is available on Amazon.com. It is the story of David Lucas, who was a young man in the early 60s, is a drunk and a horde chaser and a school bully. He gets in trouble in the army. He comes out of the army a fanatical, born-again Christian, wanting to serve, be a manly man for Jesus. But at what cost? Please pick it up. Soldier of the Cross on Amazon.com. Okay. And also, Himperific is a lovely little CBD product store. located on Snyder Avenue near 15th Street in South Philadelphia. There you'll find some of the finest cannabis-infused products. Gummies and candies and flour and teas and drinks and hand sanitizer and dog treats. Yeah, dog treats. Look them up, please. Hemperificllc.com. And also, my beloved career and business coach, Michelle Snow. Michelle is excellent in helping you develop your professional career or small business. Let you know what you're doing right, where you need work, and help you network with other up-and-coming entrepreneurs and professionals. Please look her up. growwithsnow.com. Okay. Alrighty then. As we go into the weekend and the rest of our lives, let's remember, as I have said, band together, learn from each other, fight with each other, and we will win. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Shabbat Shalom. Bye.